Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Newsviews. I'm Terrell Brown. Students across the country have wrapped up what was a violent school year that included recent shootings in Santa Fe, Texas, Noblesville, Indiana, and Dixon, Illinois. And as politicians, students, school leaders, and others try to find ways to improve safety, some say that one step toward reducing violence in the classroom is restorative justice. It's focused on finding the root causes of bad behavior, evaluating the harm caused, then applying constructive punishments. Experts say that restorative justice has had a significant impact at schools where it's being used. Dr. Bethany Like, Executive Director for the Illinois Center for School Improvement at American Institutes for Research, and David Brown, the principal of George Patton School in Riverdale, are both here this morning. Good morning to both of you. It's good to see you.
Good morning.
So the term used, restorative justice, to you, what does that mean, Doctor? I'll start with you.
When I think about restorative justice, I really think about restorative practices. These are the practices that we put in place when negative behaviors take place by our students. And the main thing is that instead of focusing on the negative behavior, we focus on the student and why they participated in that negative behavior.
If we were to do a before and after, what is it?
Well, one, I love to talk about the data. And so part of what we look at is our suspension rate. We've gone from 120 suspensions down to 50 suspensions. And then this previous school year, we were down to 28 suspensions. What I've also noticed is that there's a different atmosphere and feel with regards to our students. One of the things that our students definitely want to do is try to make sure that their school environment is one that's welcoming, that's inviting, and truly safe. And so we work with our students to make sure that they're an integral part of the restorative practices.
If you could give me an example of when restorative justice would be used in a particular situation or a problem or a situation that you're having with a student, walk me through it. What would that look like?
So the best example I think I could use is when students get into a fight.
Yeah.
That's just traditional in schools. My school is a pre-K to 8th grade school. We're a community school, and so the kids are very familiar with each other. So in the instance of a fight in the past where we would traditionally say you got into a fight and now you will receive 3 to 5 day suspension, what we do now is we have that person or the two people that were involved in the fight meet with our behavior support specialist and our assistant principal. And they process the entire day, either the day of the fight or coming back the next day after the fight. We don't make it an instant decision in terms of suspensions right away, but what we want to do is make sure that we have that immediate time to process what those behaviors were. The important question for me when we're talking to the student is why, and making sure that they understand the why, because there's a perspective on both sides.
And do you find that after that conversation, there's usually some sort of peaceful resolution? What happens next?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes it's quicker than others. Sometimes it may take 30 minutes. Some days it takes the entire school day. But we're fortunate to have staff members on hand that have the time to really process through that. And so we will start with the process of them answering the question of why and getting to a point where they're acknowledging those behaviors as well as coming up with an apology.
And I'll bring this to you, Doctor. Is this something that you announce? Do you walk into a school and say, hey, everybody, we're going to try something called restorative justice? Or do you just start it and then see what happens?
Well, I'd say before you even bring it to the students, it is a mindset change for the staff. Traditionally, what do we do with students who have negative behavior? We say, you're gone. You're gone for 3 to 5 days. And when you have staff members who are saying, wait a minute, these students fought and they're going to be in my class tomorrow, you have to change the mindsets of the teachers before you can even bring it to the students.
And have they been willing, teachers and staff, by the way, to try this approach from what you've seen?
A little pushback, but for the most part, they have. At the end of the process, I think what is important, especially at our school, is we have what we call a community meeting. And so if the students were in junior high students, I pull all of our junior high students out into the hallway. All of the junior high staff members, all of the administrators, and the 2 students who were involved in that conflict. And what it is just a community healing. And I think that's an important part of what restorative practices is. It's making sure that we're healing the harm.
All right, Mr. Brown, Doctor, hang on for 1 second. We're going to take a quick break. More of our discussion right after this.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.